poor would be one way to describe Ferrari's 2014 season. However, with pre-season testing, it looks as if the Scuderia may in fact be the team to beat coming into this season. Along with the all-new driver lineup of Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari dominated the timesheets, setting the fastest time on 3 of the 4 days, and Vettel setting the fastest lap overall, with Hamilton's best lap being third fastest. Although the team only managed a few podiums last season and 1 win at this very track with Fernando Alonso, the team were expecting 3 wins this season, as they look to take it to Mercedes to take the Drivers' World Championship and the Constructors' World Championship as well. Rosberg will be to have a much tougher time of things if he's defended his World Championship this season, as the Mercedes team as a whole only managed to top 1 session, and Rosberg's best time was 3/10 slower than that of Sebastian Vettel's. But as you all know, Mercedes never showed their true pace in testing, but went to Australia to show that. However, Rosberg definitely does have the hand over Bottas, as Bottas actually spun into the wall on the second day of testing, and he managed to complete 5 laps in the session. Whereas Rosberg managed to complete 327 laps over the 4 days, but still, in the back of his mind, that Ferrari do look to be the better car this season. After securing 2 wins last season, BMW saw their opportunity to re-enter the sport and once again powered the Williams team for the first time since the end of the 2005 season. Williams also named a whole new driver lineup of Sebastian Buemi, who moved from Ferrari, and Jenson Button, who has announced that unless he wins the Drivers' Championship, this will be his final season in Formula 1. The main thing is, BMW's reliability looks to be good, as there wasn't actually any mechanical failures on either of the 2 cars during the 4 days of testing. Of course, something that BMW were famed for back in the 2000s was their consistent unreliability. However, they may be reliable, but they're not exactly on the pace they're showing in testing, as Buemi was over a second slower than Vettel's best lap, and Button only managed his 7th best lap, and that was 1.5 seconds off the pace of Sebastian Vettel. The team's expectations for the season were 3rd in the championship for the constructors, and for hopefully one of their drivers to manage top 5 in the Drivers' Championship. Renault looked to have taken about 2 steps back with their power unit for this season, as the Red Bull was one of the slowest in the straight line through the speed traps. This doesn't help the fact that Ricciardo is under pressure to perform this season, as he's only on a 1-year contract after being completely beat by his ex-teammate Sebastian Vettel in the previous season. However, with John Verne as his new teammate, brand new season. However, things weren't looking too smooth for Ricciardo in testing, as he lost it completely and slammed into the wall and lost one of the 2 experimental front wings that Red Bull brought to the test session. However, Red Bull was still hoping they could manage a top 3 in the constructors' standings, but it's a complete unknown whether they finish in the drivers' standings. John Verne, after it's confirmed he's moving to the Red Bull after the Belgian Grand Prix, looks to be struggling to adjust to the car, as Verne only managed the 9th fastest lap, with Ricciardo managing the 6th fastest lap. If Alonso's 2007 wretched season at McLaren is anything to go off, it looks as if 2015 is going to be about 10 times worse than that, as this is the most uncompetitive McLaren have looked in years, with the Honda engine in the back of it being the slowest on the grid. And to compound Alonso's miseries further, a spin with Stevens on day 2 of testing midway through the session would force him out for the rest of the day, due to suspension damage. And the Honda engine just be the slowest on the grid, and through the speed traps they could barely manage 200 miles an hour out of the engine. However, the chassis does look good, so on the low power tracks such as Singapore and Hungary, the team were looking for a good result there. The team was still high expectations, and hoping to beat 6th in the constructors last season or beat the points total they managed in 2014. But the most surprising thing is, Alonso's teammate will once again be Felipe Massa. But executives at McLaren have said there'll definitely be no Alonso's faster than yous coming in this current season. Force India looked to be best of the customer teams, also naming an unchanged driver lineup of Sergio Perez and Nico Hülkenberg. They once again look to consolidate 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Early signs were good, as Perez managed the 8th best lap overall on the final day of testing. A gearbox failure would force him out early after only completing 17 laps. After confirming a switch from Renault to Mercedes power units, after the British Grand Prix last season, Lotus enjoyed a much more successful test session. The team's expectations for this season was 6th in the constructors' standings, and they are hoping that Romain Grosjean and Josh Chiro were the two drivers to achieve that. However, Josh Chiro was critical of the car, complaining about a significant lack of rear downforce over the 4 days of testing. Despite slipping to 8th in the constructors' standings last season, Toro Rosso continue to use Renault power units coming into this season. Their expectations were top 7 for the season. Max Verstappen will start his first full season of Formula 1, and he'll be partnering Daniel Kvyat, who starts his 2nd season with the team. The newly repainted Sauber looks to be a decently competitive midfield car for the testing results, along with the driver lineup of Marcus Ericsson, who jumped ship from Caterham, of course haven't made it onto the grid this season, and Sauber also keep Adrian Sutil after he scored 7 points for the team last season. Although the team don't have any real goals for this season, they'd like to beat their points total from 2014 and also keep up their streak of not being last in the constructors throughout their entire history in Formula 1. Surprisingly, bringing up the rear of the grid from testing will actually be Manu Marussia. Despite them finishing 7th in 2014, there just wasn't enough financial backing on the car for them to be able to afford the 2015 Ferrari power units, so they're stuck with the 2014 power unit. Also, due to the lack of funding, the team haven't really been able to develop the car that much, and due to a complete lack of downforce, as shown here, Stevens completely runs off the track and actually tagged one of the Saubers and one of the Red Bulls behind as well. And due to the lack of engine power from the 2014 Ferrari engine and a complete lack of downforce on the car, both drivers, Will Stevens and Alex Rossi, were over 5 seconds slower than Sebastian Vettel's best time. Aside from the cars, one of the other big talking points ahead of the Australian Grand Prix has been yet another change to the point system, and this time it affects the whole season and not just the final race. So now it's 20 points for a race win, 15 points for second, 12 points for third, 10 points for fourth, and so on all the way down to 12th will score 1 point. The idea of the top 12 scoring points is to make the midfield battle more interesting, and to make the whole championship more interesting, as it's only 5 points advantage for a race win instead of the previous 7 points. The aim with this is the amount of drivers that finished 11th in a midfield team and that team ended up scoring no points throughout the season, mainly Maldonado back in 2012-2013. The other main talking point has been the fact of the cancellation from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix from the F1 calendar. This means that Brazil will once again be the final race of the season. This is mainly due to fans calling Abu Dhabi the most boring race in recent times. So that's been the qualifying report. Are the Ferraris top dog, or are Mercedes holding back? Find out, and it's time for Australia very soon. Once again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you're new. Like the video, comment down below your thoughts on the pre-season, and I'll see you all next time.